What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Evercrisis video. Alright guys, couple things I want to talk about. First off, brand new notice for an update for version 1.1.10. And the update is pretty straightforward. Improvements have been made to the ticket draw, allowing to draw multiple times at once when you have between 2 and 9 tickets. Improvements have been made also so the confirmed wish list will be displayed when a new draw that can be set in the wish list appears in the draw's wish list, and then fixes for minor recommended party best equipment. I have no idea what that is, but they need to rehaul that entire system. That system is probably one of the worst things they've created in this game. It is absolutely not optimized in any way, shape, or form. So I've made a video about this like way in the past. Do not use the recommended party and best equipment button, but I'm curious to see what the fix is. So I'm probably going to just play around with that and figure it out. And then also minor quality of life improvements that will be introduced as well too. So hoping to see a couple of different things there. Please note, co-op content matching can be conducted with players who have different versions of the app. Upon first launch after the update, additional downloads may occur. It may take some time for the new version to be reflected in the store, and the event content and period may change without notice. So a couple of things to note that is coming down the pipe, so keep that in mind. Now, the topic at hand is not about the version 1.1.10. I just want to talk about that anyways because it's here, but it's actually about who the best wind user is in the game. Okay, we all know that Aerith has come out with a brand new weapon, the Prism Rod. There's this whole controversy behind the compensation. We're not going to bring that up even as a topic, but we're going to talk about technically the topic at hand as who is the best arrow/wind user in the game. So first off, shout out to Alk. He put together a pretty comprehensive Discord message last night to me. I actually had a chance to read the whole thing, and he and I are on the same page. Because the good thing is, he's like, do you want to make a guide about this? I said, you know what, it's a pretty good idea because a lot of people are concerned, obviously, with the fact that they're not going to go for the Prism Rod, and at the fact that there may be a boss coming down the line who is going to be weak against wind, right? Hence why this is a featured weapon. So let's talk a little bit about that. So first off, I want to say this. There's nobody currently with a garb that gives you this specific Wind Arcanum 35% wind ability damage. So right away, Aerith gets that advantage, bar none. Okay, she has an incredibly good weapon that has magic attack boost, as well as the work Arcanum. She has an armor that gives her magic attack boost plus 35% wind damage. That is going to be very, very difficult, guys, to beat. But let's be real, most of you guys are using her for healing. Most people don't want to switch from her going from healing to DPS. Now I will say this, Aerith has always been the best magic damage user in the game. A lot of people don't know this, but everything she scales off of is magic attack. I think she's the only unit that has no physical attack scaling at all. Everything is magic attack scaling for her. She's the most prolific and best magic user in the game, but she's not the only one that does magic damage. So I'm going to go through a couple of units here that actually will provide you a similar look and feel from a different perspective, and why I think it's not that big of a deal. Now the garb, of course, the 35% wind damage is not going to be replaced by anybody. Nobody has that, okay? So that's going to be the biggest thing to note, and we all know that the outfits are what people usually want to aim for, right? So Cloud currently has nothing wind damage related. The only thing that he has anything wind related is going to be Apocalypse, which will give you a boost attack and boost wind potency. But if you look at it, you're going to have to get max tier here to really take advantage of it. At 5-star, it gives you +9, +24. Really not the best option here, but it's not a bad sub weapon for if you decide to go with Aerith or if you decide to go with the main other DPS. Okay, so Cloud has only this option for any wind potency increase or any wind damage at all, okay? Barret has nothing at all. Tifa, this is the unit that you actually want to focus on if you aren't going to go for Aerith. If you're looking for wind damage, Tifa might be your solution to the problem you're having. So her motor drive actually gives you an obscene amount of damage, physical damage specifically, that is wind element. Okay, not only that, but she also gives you boost physical attack and boost wind potency at a pretty high rate. So +54 is the highest boost attack, physical attack, I think next to Killer Hornet. And then boost wind potency +24 is nothing to scoff at. That's really good. And not to mention 790 versus 800% at max tier, so you're not losing much in terms of damage. And her support materia is perfect for her because it's all physical attack boost, which is exactly what this weapon is. So quite honestly, if you're going to be looking for a wind damage dealer, Tifa actually will be the better choice in my opinion, only because Aerith serves as a support role that not many besides maybe Matt can compete with. It's too hard to replace her as a healer, right? Because if you look at this, Raging Sphere, which is the Prism Rod, the actual R abilities is boost HP and boost wind potency. Now the wind potency does increase more for her than it does for Aerith or for Tifa, but keep in mind the boost HP doesn't really help for damage perspective. And if you look at the support materia, magic attack boost, heal boost, and sigil boost are not the greatest things for a DPS. This is a hybrid build. So to me, Prism Rod, even with the 35% increase, isn't as good with the outfit, of course, isn't as good as having motor drive because of the extra support materia, plus 20%, plus 20%, plus 20. That's plus 60% more physical damage coming through from Sonic Spiral, which is going to be, in my opinion, the better option of the two. Now, so Tifa could definitely be your main DPS for Arrow. So don't worry about it, guys, if you're not pulling for the Prism Rod. I know a lot of people are concerned. So what you can do is just add this motor drive to the wish list and hopefully pull on it and get yourself a copy of this when a banner comes out that you're looking at, right? So let's go for the next unit here, Zac. Zac also has a wind weapon here, I believe. Let me just find it real quick. It's, is it this one? I believe it's this one. Yeah, there we go. So the Falcon, right? So Gale Blast, it's an AoE wind damage dealing unit, but it's perfect sub-weapon for Tifa, right? Because it gives you boost physical attack and boost wind potency. So this is going to serve as an incredibly good AoE damage dealing arrow or wind attack, or you could boost it up and use it as a sub-weapon for Tifa. Now what makes Tifa's motor drive even better, in my opinion, than Aerith's Prism Rod is also because in the beginning they've really geared us towards building a physical attack build with Cloud, right? So you could put in a lot of different physical attack sub weapons to take full advantage of motor drive, which will do way more damage in the long run. The only time I think Prism Rod will do better is when we're fighting enemies who are weaker to magic damage, of course, right? That's where Aerith's weapon will shine more versus Zac's, who's also physical wind, or Tifa's, who's also physical wind, right? So this is another great weapon here that you can add for a sub-weapon. It gives you physical attack and wind potency, so it's the perfect sub-weapon for Tifa. And then lastly, there's Lucia. Lucia also has a wind weapon. Let me just quickly find it, guys. There it is right there. And this is also a magic attack, but it's an AoE version. So this one actually increases boost attack and gives you boost wind potency. So again, a really good sub-weapon for motor drive, or in this case, a really good sub-weapon for Prism, the Prism Rod, right? So one way or another, you're getting both the wind potency and the boost attack from this weapon as well, the Pulse Gun, right? So we have, let's go through it again. We have Apocalypse here that gives you boost attack and wind potency, so again, can work for both. We have Motor Drive, which gives you physical attack and wind potency, which is perfect. That's what you want. And then you have Zac's Falcon, which also gives you wind potency plus physical attack, which again is perfect for motor drive. And then you have the Pulse Gun here, which gives you boost attack and boost wind potency. So either way, guys, you can build a very, very powerful wind unit in Tifa, and you won't take away from your healer that is going to be obviously Aerith, right? So a lot of people who want to use her as DPS, you're more than welcome to, of course. You have the ability to do that. But I think having her as your healer, I think is more important personally than having her as your DPS. She can run both for sure, but I think just overall, you're going to have a better option here in Tifa, and you're not reducing from your actual setup, right? And that is, of course, Fairy Tail, Mithril Rod, however you want to run her. Now, the one thing to note about Tifa, and shout out to Alec for mentioning this as well, and I noticed this too, is the fact that you don't really have very good sub-weapons with her, right? So you can definitely use one of her debuffing weapons to give you a little bit more debuff, such as Leather Gloves, or the Tiger Fangs, or even this, actually, which will give you magic defense decrease. The only problem here is you're not really getting a physical attack sub-weapon. No, sorry, not sub-weapon, secondary weapon that's going to actually help you in any way, shape, or form from a stats perspective. See, because it's heal, fire resist, right? You have physical defense, boost lightning resist, so very defensive, very survival, boost heal, boost water potency, again, nothing there. You can use this technically, the Sonic Strikers, which boost attack and boost water resistance, so the attack is not bad, but again, it's just not as good, right? So you can run her as your main DPS and also as a backup debuffer or your main debuffer. Boost magic attack, again, doesn't help because it's physical attack for wind, and boost crit potency doesn't help because there's no crit associated with motor drive because it's elemental. Boost HP, boost lightning potency. This is, I mean, if you're looking for survivability, this can help a little bit. And then, of course, you go here to the Kaiser Gloves, boost magic defense, boost ice resist. Again, nothing there. And then lastly here, boost HP, boost magic ability potency. Again, nothing really helping you. So that's really the only big downfall to Tifa. But just like Aerith, Aerith most likely will run Prism Rod and Fairy Tail. So she's going to be playing two roles, DPS and healer. So you're going to go back and forth. Same with Tifa here. I believe that even though she doesn't have a good secondary weapon to boost her damage, she has backup weapons to help you debuff. So she'll play multiple roles as well. She can even use Lifeguard to be an off healer as well too. So she can use the Lifeguard wraps to heal and DPS with her motor drive, or just go DPS and be offhand debuffer. So Tifa, guys, I think is the better option personally. Now, granted, there are some enemies that are more susceptible to magic attack, but I think Tifa, it will do enough for you when it comes down to doing damage with arrow if you don't plan to go for the actual Prism Rod that's the current banner. So I just wanted to give you some options. Again, shout out to Alec for putting that together. I read it. I totally agreed with it. I was on the same page, so I'm glad to see that a high-end player like that can think you know, analytically. And we want to provide you guys this information because if you're looking to build an arrow damage dealing unit, Tifa might be your best option. There you guys go. Now remember, there more things will come down the line in terms of wish list and banners, so you will eventually probably get another weapon that does arrow damage. But for now, if you do want to build somebody with arrow, think about Tifa before going for the Prism Rod if you plan to save for the Halloween banner. Alright guys, this is Payne. Hope this video was insightful. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.